Hi, welcome to my webcast on my super cool website for my super cool artifacts for this year's APPR. What I'm going to be showing you with my super cool page is several aspects of Danielson. Danielson 1B, which is demonstrating my knowledge of my students, Danielson 1D, which is my knowledge of resources, and Danielson 4C, which is my communication with families. And I have to tell you, that's probably the biggest thing with this website, is my ability to communicate with families. I have jam-packed this website over the last several years, so it's certainly not something that I've done just this year. But I do want to show you some of the really neat things that are going on here. I have the basic contact information, but I try to also keep on the home page anything new and exciting that's going on in class, sort of like the bulletin, the most important stuff. So actually, even though right now we're currently in the last marking quarter, the last week of the third marking quarter, what I have on here is something that we actually started a couple weeks ago is Class Dojo, which I'll probably be talking more about in another aspect of my artifact. But what I have the ability to do with this website is as I introduce something new like this that students have no experience with, I'm able to have the link right here, I'm able to have the directions, and additionally, even have the ability to embed a video from YouTube so that the students can go right here, all one place, to be able to see what is this new thing that we're doing and how does it work. One of the things we are going to be starting during the fourth marking quarter, which also deals with both student being able to communicate with students and being able to communicate with parents, certainly in the 21st century, is SELI. And this is something that a lot of schools use, or a lot of teachers use, uh, to be able to basically send blind text messages between students and teachers. And so, what would happen is my students would join my cell. I'm able to text them, and it comes up on their app saying, "Oh, don't forget to study for tomorrow's test," or "We're going to be having Regents review on Wednesday." And so the students can go in, they're not going to see my cell phone number, and I will not see theirs. And it's a great way to stay in touch with them. I'm going to be doing this completely with all of my classes starting in the beginning of next year and also with parents, which I think will really be beneficial. Scrolling back up a little bit, just want to show uh, again, 21st century learning is so important, and that's what's being expected by colleges and by employers for our students. And so I try to use as much technology as possible. And so one of the apps that a lot of my students have actually started using is Evernote. So I have the link right here to the website, and then I have a video because they've started using it, but they're still novices. And these are just 10 of the Evernote features for them to check out. Additionally, the district has started using Castle Learning. So I have started using this with my AIS classes, and I plan to be using it with my other two US history classes as we prep for the Regents exam. And again, the website gives me a great opportunity to just post everything that they need to have. They've got the link, they've got, all right, this is how you log in, the two different options, this is your password, and what you need to do once you get on there. I also use my website as a way to give as many skills as possible for students to be successful in every aspect of high school. And so this is just an example, this awesome advice for achievement. And as you look at this, basically so many of my students say to me, "Oh my gosh, I stink at social studies." And so I say to them, "Well, maybe, you need to work on being a better student. That's not maybe social studies, but maybe it's how you're approaching things." And so I try to teach them about organization. This is how you need to keep your planner. These are some good all around practices. These are some ideas of how to study for a test or to write a good essay. And then obviously, it's very important to stay on your teacher's good side so that you're successful. Additionally, I have links to all the rules and expectations. The parents are very happy about this because certainly on the open house or even at the beginning of the school year, all these handouts come home, and to keep track of them, it just becomes very cumbersome for the parents. And so they really like the fact that everything's right up here and they can check it out at any time. They don't have to worry about losing things or anything like that. Additionally, I have a neat little thing where the kids can just send me a message at any time. Sometimes they'll send me a message, hey, what did we do in class today? Sometimes they'll actually copy and paste their homework in here. Sometimes they'll be asking me a question about the homework. And it's really great. It goes directly to my school email, and I'm able to answer them. And sometimes they'll email me in the evening, and I'll be able to email them right back with an answer so that they're able to complete their homework for the next day. Speaking of homework, obviously that's a major part and function of this website. And so what I have here is I keep a running log of the homework for the entire marking quarter. And I have to tell you that not only have parents and students commented positively about this because they like to know, oh, these are all the things that we did, or this is the reason why my average is like this. But guidance actually has said to me several times that they like the idea of this, that they can go and when kids say, oh, well, Mrs. Clemens, she never assigns anything or any kind of complaints that they might have, or just if kids are out and tutoring, everything's right here. I also keep a file of the homework from previous semesters or marking quarters for them to look at, just to kind of keep track, which again is really beneficial for students that are out on tutoring. Extra credit, I keep a running log of that and any attachments that go with that. And then going along with that idea of the awesome advice for achievement, I have other just general skill ideas here, how to write a DBQ, how to write a thematic essay, how to take a multiple choice test, or how to study for a test. Again, my goal is for my students to be as successful as possible, not just for me for this 1 year, but throughout their high school careers and hopefully college careers. One of the biggest ways that I've adapted this website um, recently is to go with basically the trends that the students have been following. Certainly, yes, they go on the internet, but even bigger, they're not as big on just bookmarking certain sites and saying, all right, well, I'm going to keep a look at this at the personality types, or I'm going to look here for the US Senate. They like to search for them, they don't like to bookmark them as much. But what they really do like is apps and Web 2.0 sorts of functions. And so, what I put here are the top, my top recommendations. So, we talked about Evernote. My School Notebook is another one that quite a few students are using. We've got the Class Dojo and the Selly that we talked about. My Majors, which is great, gives college information. Astrid, which is something I actually use. It's web based and an app. It's wonderful to keep track of your to do lists. Mr. Castaldi actually recommended Flashcards Plus. It's something he's using with his students. EasyBib is great. Oh my gosh, not only for high school but for college to be able to do citations. And then I have a bunch of different presentation. Some of them are apps, some of them are Web 2.0, all free for the students to use so that they can really be creative. So I'm certainly trying to move with the times with the students. One of the biggest things that I do in U.S. history, and also during the times when I teach global, is vocabulary. And in the beginning of the year, I give the students this huge packet of all their vocab for the entire school year. And they keep it for the first marking quarter, they keep it for the second, and by the third, a lot of them have lost it. Instead of having to print out a whole nother packet, the students have full access to this at all times. And I can't tell you how many times kids have used this, um, especially as we're moving towards the end of the year. I keep all the review guides up here and obviously update them, from year to year. I keep our essay assignments. I keep all the handouts from the start of the year. Again, as I go, if I make any changes, I put the updates up here, have our guided notes. And I have to tell you, not only has this been beneficial, again, for students that are out on tutoring, for students that are absent, for parents to keep track or help their children to study. I've actually had teachers from other school districts around the country actually stumble on this site and ask about using some of my handouts, which I have to say was pretty neat. I do the same thing for psychology, and that tends to be a class that I have a lot of kids that end up going out on tutoring. And so this is great that all the handouts are here for them to go and to look at any time that they need them. Also, I have the review guides, the vocab, the class notes. Uh, Psychology is definitely a much more interactive class, so I keep all the video clips or most of the video clips that are linked to YouTube or talkdocumentaries.com or any of these that students can look at, which is great because if you're absent for one day and we happen to watch this 10-minute clip, for example, coping with stress through My Little Pony, now they can look at this anytime and watch it and complete the assignment that we did in class and not have to worry about it being embedded in my PowerPoint and I can't see my PowerPoint. Everything's right here and it's all categorized by topic. I also have information here for my AIS class, which was new for me for this spring semester. And I've got links to help both the students and the parents. I've got exactly what AIS is because a lot of times parents really aren't sure what is this class that's on my child's schedule. And then one of the things I've found is I didn't really know what to do with AIS, and I looked around at a lot of other teachers' websites and I couldn't find anything. And so part of my hope was that I could use this website to help other teachers. And I plan on sort of reaching out to some other teachers that I've talked to from other districts around the state and see if we can kind of collaborate a little bit. One of the things I also use the website for is when we're doing a project. So this was the most recent project, and it's great. I can put the project with the rubric handout right here. I can put any other handouts that are associated with the project. I can put all of the links right there, so the kids aren't searching all over the internet. Any of those specific links that they need are right there for them, and so that has been extremely beneficial. I keep a set of FAQs for the students because always, well, what do I do if I'm absent? Or where can I find out my class average? And so I keep those here so that, okay, guys, it's great in the beginning of the year for them to sort of get to know me, and I can always refer them back there. And then I also have a section for parents because so often the parents want their children to be successful, they're really not sure what do I do. I never was really great in history myself. So I've got some ideas for them to help their students to succeed, how to help your student to study because that's not something that's actually taught, and then some great websites for the parents and the students to check out. So in conclusion, this is my website, and I'm really pretty proud of it. And I think it's a really good example of how much planning goes into my instruction, but almost also how hard I try to reach out to my students and their individual needs and their individual ideas. They definitely give me a lot of feedback about what works and what doesn't work, and it's certainly been positive with students and parents alike. Thank you so much. Bye.